Welcome back to another episode of the Queer Gossip Podcast. This is episode number 19. As always, we're going to have a quick catch up and then we're going to discuss tonight's topics, which are we're going to be covering Nex Benedict Autopsy, NHS, and the all-time low that we have. A drag queen was arrested. We're going to discuss a UFC star who went on a bizarre rant calling out Lia Thomas, and we're going to discuss and I quickly added this one on. We're going to discuss the Baltimore Bridge.
Yeah. I have a few things to say about that fucking cunt Keith as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that as well. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, a bridge in Baltimore collapsed. A boat engine basically went kaput. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Because obviously, as per usual, the anti-LGBTQ bigots have come out and attacked it.
They really basically have like the best lives, don't they?
Oh yeah. And seeing as he seems to be mostly spoken about, and given the fact that we covered him twice, about an hour ago, because obviously he's still in Melbourne, he tweeted out saying that he went into a laundrette, because he needed clothes washing, and he was greeted by a young woman behind the desk. This woman had short hair, and Graham Linehan was scared.
What a fucking cunt!
He was scared of a young woman having short hair. So
a fucking coward would be. Does he admit to that? Who the fuck admits to that? Like, I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, but I took a screenshot of that, and I did a tweet, and I said, "Really, Graham, you're scared of the haircut?" And I was like, "You and your bigotry should get married."
Yeah.
Because at least then you won't get divorced. You don't go through another divorce.
Yeah.
And of course, who responds
properly,
and who responds? No one other than a fucking troll who came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Who outed themselves. So
yeah, and Graham is a fucking troll as well.
yeah.
So of course it's going to troll about him. I don't. Once again, I think I said this when we were talking to.
The interview.
He's not. Jesus Christ, Sophie.
Yeah.
Please, God save him. Thank fuck. I am so shit with names, and I just was scared that I would be a complete dick for a bit there. But yeah, I was thinking Sasha first, but that was because Sasha was the one who interviewed. Too many names starting on S.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
he is a fucking fantasy ogre, an actual fucking live under a bridge troll. Can you hear me properly? Because I think I finally found a way to make my mic work.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Speaking of Sophie, she has joined forces with another trans woman, Rita Wallace, and they have joined forces to report people.
Nice.
So you know,
Doing Lord's work.
yeah. So do please, again, like I said in the previous episode where I kind of went off on one a bit.
Understandably
Do you
so.
please do you please show your support for Sophie, and you know, show her as much love as you can. You know, she's not asking for money or anything. She just wants you to, if you can, share what's happening to her, as well
Yeah.
as many other trans women, you know, on the internet, courtesy of Graham Linehan. So, yeah. But how's your week been?
Oh Jesus fucking Christ! I barely remember my week. Yeah, like when we were recorded the last. This is the fun part. When we were recording the last episode, we were on like hour 6, or what was going to be a no, hour 4. It will be hour 4 because he disappeared at 4 p.m. and we recorded this at 8 p.m. my time, and my boyfriend just stopped responding all of a sudden, like in a way that he doesn't usually do. And since I am such a normal person, I handled that like a fucking champ. I think that's why I'm so low energy at the start of the last episode, because I'm like fucking worried sick, and I have to like I kind of have to focus on it because at least that gives me like an hour of not having to worry about him being dead. And then I spent the entire night, 19 hours. I was worried sick for 19 hours, and then it turns out he just gave his kid his phone and he forgot to turn the notifications back on for WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
And my only response to that was just like when he sent me the just, babe, I'm sorry, I forgot to put the notifications back on. Oh God, I'm sorry. Because he had like read all of my like, hey, should I be actually fucking worried right now? Do I need to contact someone? But my only response at first was just, I might actually kill you.
Yeah.
Just end your fucking life. But yeah, I wasn't actually mad because he would like, yeah, he's a ditzy fuck. Like he is, and like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like something he would do. I'm happy he's okay. And then he came here on Saturday, and I forced him to listen to everything I had written down while in the panicked state, which was like 8 pages. And that wasn't like revenge or anything. That was just a good punchline. For me, for him, it kind of sucks. But then again, for me, those 19 hours, like, other than that, it's been like fine. I've been grading papers and stuff. Like sometimes I remember that I actually am a teacher and I actually do like proper work sometimes.
Yeah.
One of the students asked me the other day, like, how are you allowed to keep working here? I don't fucking know. I get away with too much shit. Like, nothing bad. Just I don't really have any respect for my boss. I have respect for him as a person. Just, I'm an anarchist. I don't believe in bosses, so I don't live by them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that. It's a weird one because I understand that there has to be something called authority. I understand that, but I don't really.
That's where I don't understand.
I understand it. I don't give a fuck. I don't.
I understand it in the world that we live in.
I don't like people telling me what to do or how to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm doing. If I make a mistake, that's on me. Right? I don't
Yeah.
need you to. I don't need you to tell me what I've done wrong. If I can see what I've done wrong, then that's on me. You don't need to tell me. I already know. Just fuck off.
Yeah.
So I do understand, but in the same breath, I'm like, can you just like fuck off?
Yeah,
You know?
I'm kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like no, actually, I don't understand it either. Which is weird. It's weird to be an anarchist and a teacher, but I try to compel them to come to questioning authority in a productive way or whatever.
Yeah.
And I keep reminding them that like the only reason that I have authority over them is because they give it to me. Like they
Yeah.
can take it back. I can't do anything. I'm not allowed to hit them, which is a good thing, by the way. Although I did joke today with a kid that and this is one of those where I absolutely know that this is fine, but like, yeah, if I knew every teacher would handle it the same way I would, yeah, I would definitely be okay with hitting your students.
Yeah.
The joke there being that I absolutely would abuse the shit out of it. Because they annoy the shit out of me sometimes, which they should. They're kids. They are supposed to annoy the shit out of adults.
Yeah, I mean, kids are supposed
just
to, they're supposed to test your buttons.
I just want a VHS camera on an auction. Fuck yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, kids
Yeah,
are
thanks.
kids are supposed to, test your boundaries. How do you expect them to
Yeah,
learn? That's what kids do.
exactly.
Like,
I actually made an entire class agree with. I made an entire class once agree with fucking cannibalism. And actually, I agree that cannibalism, once you've removed all the like ethics and stuff, cannibalism is actually more ethical than eating animals. I'm not a vegetarian, by the way. I just wanted to see if I could pull this off. And I kind of got the entire class to agree with it because the meat wasn't severed for consumption. It was severed because of an accident, and it was like amputated, and then it was handled freely by the person who had the body, and it had no disease and stuff like that. Like I had removed anything except for the disgust response, which some of them kept, and I understand that. I would chow down on that shit, though. Like if I ever get a chance to eat human, I absolutely will.
yeah, I mean, if it's like it's like with any, like, obviously it's human aside, but it's the same with any delicacy. Like,
Yeah.
if it's an experience, if it's like a one-off, let's say you are on, let's say you go on holiday, you want to, go backpacking or whatever, and you
Yeah.
try one of their local delicacies, and it's like a part of an animal, and it's just like a
Exactly.
one-off. Like, why not? It's a one-off.
Yeah, and like I said, I eat meat. Like
Yeah.
it's my boyfriend is actually a vegetarian, I think, but he's so fucking bad at it. He's
Yeah.
fucking terrible at it. He's like the worst vegetarian in the world. Uh, sorry to like sell you out like this, but Jesus fucking Christ, like, I'm a better vegetarian, and I have only dated him. Like, but the last two people I've dated have been vegetarians, and now he's writing. Does he have a sense that I'm like, Jesus Christ? I'm in a weird place. I'm in a good place though. I'm happy today. I think. Like the ending bit was like, but because I got a bunch of VHSs, I got my camera. I haven't gotten my camera, but I won it. I've also gotten an 8mm camera and like an old-fashioned Polaroid. And yes, these are all for the same project, by the way. So like, because I'm doing weird artistic shit. Like the things that I do as jokes on Twitter, it's like that's what I just do when I'm home. I just record like weird fucking art videos and, and shit. And now I want to do it with actual VHS because like the filter doesn't work properly.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the thing about vegans and more power to you. But we had a group. I think they were vegetarians, and they were storming restaurants, supermarkets, with we were saying like, killing animals is cruel, and trying to shove their veganism down everyone's throats. And it's like, first of all, how do you expect farmers who have done it for centuries and it's a family tradition and it's their livelihood? How
Yeah.
do you expect them to maintain their their livelihood? Oh, because you have a problem with them slaughtering animals in a humane way, which they're not stuffing them in cages. Like, that does happen, yeah, of course. Of course there's gonna be arseholes out there to do that. But farmers
Yeah.
are doing it in a humane way, right? So that's
and
that's the
also
only
like,
issue I have with those type of people. Like, you can do, if you want to be a vegan or vegetarian, more power to you.
mm,
Go ahead,
yeah,
but you don't
like
need to
yeah,
force it. Like,
yeah.
it's the
I
same
feel
with
kind of like
religion. Like,
yeah. I get vegans wanting it because they have like ethical reasons for it. What I really
yeah,
don't get though is like they believe it. They believe. Yeah, I would probably also be kind of pissed if I thought like murder went on and they were selling the carcasses for food, but I don't. So I'm not pissed, and I can laugh about it. But what I find kind of fucking off-putting is how often I've seen them pull the like, and like these are the fucking idiots. I know that. I like fucking pretty much everyone I know is a fucking vegetarian. I'm an anarchist. Uh, vegetarian at best. Vegan. I'm the bad person, but then again, that's my brand. Like I get away with so much shit just by having it as a brand that I'm a terrible person. just fucking just life hack, by the way. But I've seen people like throw parallels to the Holocaust, and I'm sorry, but that's just not fucking right. That's kind of fucked. Like how your brain has to be fucking broken to do that. Like if you don't don't say that we do a Holocaust on cows, please. Just never do that. Things can be bad without being the literal fucking Holocaust.
yeah. It's like, those people. Like, they make me laugh because, like, whilst you're over here moaning about little animals, being slaughtered in a humane way, right?
Yeah.
The same process that has kept farmers and small towns fed for for 1,000 years, right?
Yeah.
It's the same process. Yes, of course, there are large factories that are popping up, who, of course, will totally disregard, and they will obviously, without a care in the world, will slaughter animals in a non-human way. Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? Be angry
Yeah.
at them. Don't talk. Don't. I don't understand why these people have to target an entire community,
Yeah.
all because of one fucking money grabbing big conglomerate or whatever you want to call it. Like, I don't understand it. It's like,
I try to
be
avoid eating
angry at them.
chicken though, because like I try to avoid eating chicken though, because like it seems like the chicken farming industry literally wakes up every day thinking, how can we torture more chickens today? Like that seems to be like a goal for them. But then again,
Yeah,
also hot wings are delicious.
yeah,
So yeah, uh, but I'm trying. I had I had to do something. I don't. Jesus fucking Christ, my brain. I was when you sent me that tweet tonight, I was sleep deprived anyway, and I shot like 2 hours of video where I just tell him I want him to have a stroke. And like I'm trying to find useful footage in it, but I'm so fucking sleep deprived that I'm barely making sense. I need to do a supercut of my weirdest moments because there's a point where I don't know if I'm responding to something that I've said or something that is in the tweet or whatever, but I'm just whispering, the voices are back. I don't know why. And then I go on this very, 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 very serious story, like tangent that goes on for like an hour, and I end up with, and I want you to have a stroke, and I want it to be a bad one, and I don't want you to recover. I want you to be locked inside your body, where you can't move, where you can only blink, and they don't understand that what you're begging for is death, so you have to waste away in that. Because I want his body to be a prison, because that's what he does to like trans children. But I saw that he had said that trans children don't fucking exist. So I guess I don't exist then, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was
It's not
Keith.
I think that... Yeah, Keith. Sorry.
Yeah, that was Keith, or as his username is, Dad ROGD, which ROGD, if those of you don't understand, that stands for Rapid Onset Gender Dysphoria, which, by the way, does not fucking exist. It does not exist, not one bit. You know, but of course, what do you expect? They don't care. And the other person is Kevin Lister, a former teacher. So there's a Kevin and then there's a Keith.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kevin, and that was the one that I quote tweeted, I think, which was like, I actually I went in on the like in his mentions as well and like wrote something there, and that was like way meaner. I don't know why I didn't quote that. I need to check it because that was like, there I killed him. Nice job committing career suicide over your right to disrespect your students. You fucking muppet. Some student asks you to call them Rob instead of Robert, and you self-immolate to show how horrible the trannies are. You are useless and don't belong in a classroom, childish cunt.
Yeah, I saw that.
What the fuck? Yeah, that's... I had forgotten that I wrote that until someone liked it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, because at the one that I quote tweeted with, at least like kept some like levity to it. It was at least like, you killed your career. That one was just fucking mean, and I like it. I like it when I get that way.
Yeah, I offered I did a tweet about it as well. And I offered him I put out a olive branch where I offered him to come on as a guest, right? And you know, whatever. But I won't be surprised if he somehow blocks me, because that's what these people do, you know. But come on, mate. Like, you're 60 years of it. You're 60 years old. You've been a teacher for 20 years. You totally humiliate a student. Right? Take away the trans part. Right?
Yeah, that's
they
the thing.
said that. Right? Humiliating a student in of itself is disgusting.
Yeah, like, you're a piece of shit.
You just don't do that. Like, I'm sorry, right? But your job, and I think I put this in my tweet, your job as a teacher is to teach.
Yeah.
That's your job. Your job is not to interfere or to insert your beliefs. No, you don't. You don't do that. If you have a concern, then guess what? Here's what you do, Kevin. You quietly leave the classroom and you take it up with an ex-senior of staff, or you take it up with the admin or whoever and say, I have a bit of a concern, but you do it quietly. You don't humiliate a student when that student has asked you and probably every other teacher and all of and the staff, I would like you to use my pronouns.
Yeah,
What
and
are
I've
you
had that.
doing?
And and I've also had like kids who hate their fucking name, just like, oh, I don't want to be called this name because it's like, it's weird. Can you call me
Yeah.
this instead? And like, yeah, of course, because I'm not a fucking monster. Like, what kind of a fucking who? And you are the people who say that we're supposed to teach. Why don't you do that instead? Why don't you focus on your subject instead of this fucking shit? Do you know what I do? I talk barely anything about it. Like I don't. I barely talk about it. I talk about Swedish because Swedish is my fucking subject because I'm a fucking teacher. And with my like the class that I am a like mentor, the class that I mentor because we all have one. Those I talk about those kinds of issues with, but that's because I'm more of a like guardian for them.
Yeah.
Like that's my role there. But like, why don't you take your own advice, you fucking joke?
Yeah, and
like
and yeah.
Yeah, but like I remember now because like I saw his picture, like Keith. I saw Keith's picture while I was recording the video, and it's like, you have like 10 years left to live, and you want to waste them on this, and like that's a good thing. I don't want him to like end his life or anything quicker than any. I don't like, but it's like it's good that these people are dying off. Like that's a positive. That's a net positive because he's a net negative on the world. And I don't care because like that kind of rhetoric is like why I wanted to die for a bit when I was a kid. Like, fuck you, I'm not going to like yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
kept
like,
me in the closet for fucking years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like this was an hour ago. Keith, trans youth exists. Trans children exist. If you think they don't, then you're an idiot. And
Yeah.
his actual tweet, was, I think he meant to put if you think a child might be trans, then you are an idiot. If you tell a child they might be trans, then you are a criminal.
First and foremost, no. But no one tells a kid that they might be like. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
And also, like, I don't think children can be trans. I was one, you fucking idiot. Like, I was. It's not. This isn't. Like, this isn't a theory for me. Well, it is a theory in the sense that, like, gravity is a theory, or, like, Keith being completely fucking brain dead is a theory. What an abject failure of a person. Like, I'm going to have fun with him, but I just need to find a fun part. like, so much of that is unusable, unfortunately. Don't shoot video at 3 o'clock in the morning, kids.
It wouldn't surprise me if he thinks the Earth is flat. Those people are so.
Yeah, he looks like he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those people are.
He kind of looks old enough to have lived around 2,000 years ago.
Yeah,
those people are
so fucking dumb. Like seriously,
the best part,
you really think that Earth is flat? Okay.
Have you seen the documentary about them where he does the experiment and then it fails, and actually it succeeds in the sense that it succeeds. The result is the same as what would happen if the Earth was round, and his only response is like, experiments are hard and I need to think more about this. Like, yeah, maybe you should have thought more about your entire fucking position at first, you fucking idiot. like the Earth is flat is one of those examples I use because no one will get offended by it. Like by of my kids, like if I need to do like brain dead logic example, I will use like the Earth is flat or like vaccines causing autism or something like that. Because like the only people who believe that are fucking insane people who I will not like, and I like the all of them, all of every single one, and like the autism one pisses me off, especially as someone with autism. But like you're saying, you'd rather have a dead child than an autistic one. Which is like fine, but at least own it.
When I first heard that or saw it, whatever medium I was watching or reading at the time,
Yeah.
when I saw it, I was like, all right. I was thinking that. So wait a minute. So you'd rather have a dead child rather than have an autistic one?
Yeah.
Yo, so it's fucking.
And they absolutely would. Yeah. Like it's. There we go. It's actually fucking evil. Like you're, and yeah, like I hope. Just again, like I'm going to stick by this opinion. Everyone who has ever abused a child, die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just fall off the face of the fucking earth. I'm sorry, we've gotten like so far off track right now. We've been talking.
No, right.
It's funny. I like it. It's this is clearly where my mind is. Like I've been in such a weird place.
No,
I think, but I'm going on break for a week now, so that's nice.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So
yeah, the spring term. The spring term is actually really fucking hard to plan because like there are a bunch of like off days and stuff, and we have like 2 full weeks off, and then we have like a few days here and there, and then they end at like 5th of June, and I have to like plan so much until then. I'm so fucked, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't envy my cousin, who I think I've mentioned before. She's a teacher.
Yeah.
She's a teacher as well. So I don't envy teachers when it's spring break because in one breath you want to relax and enjoy time off, but then, like you just said, it's like, oh fuck, now I've got to organise and prepare the next lot of courses or whatever. It's like, fuck me. Like,
what's good about like here I am kind of thankful for my ADHD because I always think like, oh, I'm going to plan, I'm going to grade, I'm going to like give feedback during this break, and then I just like go binge on speed and like go out constantly and just like go on dates and stuff, and then it's Sunday like right before they get back, and I have to do all the shit in the same night, which means. But my planning is kind of spontaneous. It leaves room for spontaneity because I need to. So I've never written anything down when it comes to planning and stuff. So and not because I'm lazy, but because that's how I roll. In that case, other cases it's because I'm lazy.
Yeah. I think my cousin. I think she is the type of person where I think she needs to be organised.
Yeah.
So I think she writes everything down. But yeah, I certainly do not envy teachers at this time of year. Any year.
Yeah. I had to like I had to write a lecture while holding it the other day, which is really fucking interesting. I actually told the students like, I had missed this part. Like, we're going to do this now, and you are going on like you're going out into work because they have like a week where they go out into the workforce and see how that is, and then they were going to write a report about it afterwards. And I had kind of like, since this isn't my plan really, I had kind of forgotten to tell them how to write that fucking report. And I had never done it before because last time I had 8th graders, it was fucking a pandemic. so they didn't do this. And I just told them that I'm planning this right now, so we're going to see how this ends up. And it ended up
Yeah.
fine because they helped me.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes,
sometimes being a teacher, sometimes I would assume that you would have to sometimes, not all the time, but every now and then, think on your feet. So,
oh yeah, that's like it's doorway. It's called doorway planning here in Sweden.
yeah,
You plan the class. You plan the class while going into the classroom, and that's like I that's my fucking. That's where I thrive. But I've never done it with an actual lecture before, like not having any idea what I'm saying when I'm going into that. And that was like an hour-long lecture, like just me
yeah,
talking.
yeah. I couldn't cope with that. I mean, I would need at least a few. I don't need a lot. I wouldn't need a lot, but I would need at least a few key points so that I know where I'm going, and then I'll be fine.
Yeah,
But no.
I usually know my subject enough to have those key points in my head. Like I know where I'm going, and like in Sweden, you have we have a lot of freedom over our like classes. So
Yeah.
we don't have a literary canon or anything, so that's kind of fucking easy, nice.
Yeah, I wish our teachers had a lot more freedom.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Like I don't
that's
think I
because
would
our
actually
government
work
is
as a
shit.
teacher. I don't know if I would actually work as a teacher in another country than Sweden. Like
Yeah.
you need to be professional about it. Like here as well. Oh, that's semi-professional. I get to work as a teacher, but I am extremely competent at my work. But I am not a professional. Like appearance-wise, like I appear the same way as I do here. Just less talk about drugs and fucking.
Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, I do the same kind of weird fucking dark jokes though, but I do them as like I have a didactic reason for them. And one student out of the 7 years that I've been working, only one student figured it out, and she said, "You always say the darkest shit when you want us to remember something." And I was just, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Finally, someone who's not dumb.
Yeah.
And then we laughed. It's not that it's dumb, of course. I'm just being a dick there, but that's funny too.
Yeah.
That's the same student who gave me a list of 60 points of like offenses I like slides I had done towards her when we finished. Like, I wrote this for you. And it was just like point after point of me just being like weird. And that was it was a good gift. It wasn't like a stop working, please, but rather you actually you made this fun, and that feels nice. I'm happy when I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right.
Now, so autopsy.
Yeah. Um,
I didn't mean to
switching
sound so
gears.
fucking cheerful.
No, it's all right. No, switching gears from talking about
Yeah.
happy stuff to now switching gears to something that yeah, but share screen, so I'll do that later. So I'll go back to that. So to give context, the police who was involved, it was found out that there was a cover up being done because they were being really vague surrounding Nex Benedict's death. But obviously the full autopsy report has been released. So Nex Benedict, a 16-year-old transgender and indigenous student from Owasso High School in Oklahoma, who died in February. was released Wednesday, offering a more comprehensive understanding of the events leading to his tragic death. Benedict used he, him, they, and them pronouns. Benedict's death had previously been classified as a suicide by the Oklahoma Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, citing combined toxicity from fluoxetine and diphenhydramine as the cause. Benedict had endured bullying and an assault at school, which had raised significant questions about the environment in which he lived and the protection offered to LGBTQ plus youth. Now, fluoxetine is a medication that I have been using myself. But obviously, as we go on, so the much anticipated, let me. So the full autopsy report delves into greater detail than the initial one-page summary previously released, providing insight into the physical injuries Benedict sustained and the levels of medication present in their system at the time of death. Despite the traumatic experiences Benedict faced, including the physical assault the day before his death, the report highlighted that there were no lethal injuries, including an absence of injuries to the brain. This detail is significant, revealing the fact that the physical trauma observed on Benedict's body, which included non-lethal injuries like bruises, cuts, and scrapes, did not extend to brain damage. These findings shift the focus towards a combination of medications found in Benedict's system at the time of death. Specifically, toxicology results pinpointed the cause of death to the combined effects of fluoxetine, an antidepressant, and diphenhydramine, an antihistamine that is also commonly used as a sleep aid. According to the report, the levels of these drugs were significantly higher than therapeutic ranges. So,
Fuck. That's fun.
yeah, yeah, the advocate consulted Dr. Joshua King, the medical director of the Maryland Poison Center, to better understand the toxicology results. King said that while the fluoxetine values weren't necessarily alarming, the diphenhydramine amount was.
Yeah.
So, as I said previously, when Nex Benedict was, found in the state he was, as I said, the police tried to cover it up. I don't know why they were trying to cover it up. Probably because they were bigots themselves. But
Yeah.
at least now we get the full timeline, and so the fluoxetine levels aren't dramatically elevated, but the diphenhydramine ones are. King said that would be in a range compatible with other reports of patients dying from diphenhydramine overdose. He noted that a person suffering from a fatal overdose would usually suffer seizures, cardiac arrhythmias, or both. According to the report, first responders reported finding a written communication attributed to Benedict that contributed to the medical examiner's impression of self-harm. Bruises, scratches, and cuts to Benedict's face, while not contributing directly to his death, according to the report, paint a vivid picture of the struggles he endured. The documentation on medical interventions attempted before Benedict's death, including resuscitation efforts evident from the injuries related to CPR, highlight the efforts made to save his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Um.
fucking tragedy. Sorry, I need to go just grab my charger for a bit. Like, I can hear you still. It's just I need to go. I need to exit the screen for a bit because I need to put my phone on charge. But Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Condolences to anyone who knew. Next.
Let me. Yeah, we send our condolences to family, friends, and obviously his students and teachers at Orassa High School. Our condolences to those who knew Nex Benedict. This is just unfortunately one of many, many, many trans people who have unfortunately lost their life, whether it was through intentional suicide or not.
Yeah.
It's just this is just another reminder that we need more.
Yeah.
The trans community need more help, because otherwise this will just continue.
Oh, it will. Absolutely, it will. Like, it needs. I just want children to stop dying. Like that.
Yeah.
And I wish I didn't have to like. I wish I didn't have to say that. Like,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
This is where
I wish that America and other countries will get off their fucking arse and actually take charge of what's happening in Hamas. But but according to what I've heard, America aren't doing anything about it. So millions of people are facing death and starving. But anyway, isn't it fun to watch the whole world going to
fucking
suffering
show
because people in power can't be bothered to protect children? But anyway, Benedict's death has led to a series of advocacy efforts, including calls for a federal investigation into the Orassa public schools' handling of bullying and harassment. The U.S. Department of Education launched a civil rights investigation into the school district. Benedict's family, community members, and advocates, including the president and CEO of GLAD, Sarah Kate Ellis, and Kelly Robinson, the president of the Human Rights Campaign, criticised the initial response from local and state authorities, demanding accountability and a more thorough investigation. The controversy also highlighted the broader issue of systemic failures to safeguard vulnerable students and the importance of addressing mental health and bullying in educational settings. Yeah, well, make sure that your teachers aren't fucking bigots. That would be a start. Ryan Walters, the state superintendent of public instruction, has been criticised for contributing to a hostile environment for LGBTQ plus people in Oklahoma schools. Walters appointed Chaya. Oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. Walters appointed Chaya Raichik, the right-wing extremist
fucking Christ!
Who runs the Libs of TikTok anti-LGBTQ plus hate account, to a media and library oversight board in January, sparking widespread outrage.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
And Chai Raichik said in a tweet that if Donald Trump becomes president, she will do everything she can to completely stop education.
Yeah. That's great. This is a fucking functioning human being. How are you this much of a fucking joke of a person? Like, she was actually a fucking joke on that interview. So yeah, I've seen that happen.
Of all people, for him to
Yeah,
she was. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, yeah. How do you
Of all people,
appoint someone?
for him to appoint, he has to appoint the fucking child chick.
Yeah.
In
Well, he has to
response
appoint
to the
someone who
autopsy's
makes him
release,
look competent, I
Robinson
guess.
said, "True." Robinson said in a statement, "The full report does little to fill in the gaps in information about the day or the more than a year of bullying and harassment that led up to it. It does not answer the questions of so many in Oklahoma and across the country. We continue to support the calls from Nex's family for an independent investigation." She added, "The
Good.
release of today's report does not change the fact that LGBTQ plus students in Oklahoma are not safe at school, and it does not change our continued calls for justice and accountability. We reiterate our call for a full and complete investigation into the district state superintendent Ryan Waters, the Oklahoma State Department of Education, and into their response after Nex was attacked." So it
Yeah.
it very much sounds like, you know, the typical trying to cover it up, you know,
Yeah.
type thing.
Good that
And
they're
it's
like
like,
fighting.
but
I wish they
I
didn't
mean,
have to fight.
yeah, um,
I'm going to need to be
yeah,
like.
exactly.
I have a
You know,
bit of a pizza here, so I'm going to be eating
Ellis
for a bit.
also
Sorry.
responded to the full.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's fine. Um, Ellis also responded to the full report's release. This report cannot be seen as a conclusion of the investigation into the death of a teenager who should still be here today. She said Oklahoma's supposed leaders must still provide answers to the public about the state sponsored bullying by legislation, the inadequate response to violence in a school bathroom, and all the failures to keep Nex safe that continue to endanger LGBTQ and 2STGNC plus people in Oklahoma. Nicole McCarthy of Freedom Oklahoma remarked on the collective failures at various levels, emphasizing, "As our community continues to grieve and remember Nex, it's clearer than ever that everyone from Oklahoma State Superintendent of Public Instruction Ryan Waters to Owasso High School staff members to the Owasso Police Department, Tulsa District Attorney, and unaccredited since 2009 State Medical Examiner's Office failed to deliver justice for Nex Benedict and Nex's loved ones." How the fuck can you be unaccredited since 2009 and still work in inverted commas or quotation, sorry, for
Yeah.
the medical office for as a medical that
Yeah,
no
that's actually
wonder
fucking dangerous.
they try to quieten this story. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucked up. What the
Um,
fuck? You shouldn't work as a. Don't work as a doctor if you're discredited. What? Oh, Jesus Christ. That was dark. That was, but that was like weird.
yeah.
That's bizarre. At least that's some fucking
Yeah.
loony
Yeah.
logic.
Yeah. The Trans Advocacy Coalition of Oklahoma and the Oklahoma Pride Alliance called for urgent reform and protection for LGBTQ plus and indigenous youth.
Yeah.
While Christopher Sederberg from the Rainbow Youth Project USA highlighted the impact of Nex's death on young people seeking help, urging it's incumbent upon all of us to secure safety and well-being for young people, especially those who are most at risk of being bullied and singled out.
Yeah. I'm fucking flabbergasted. My brain can barely full of this story. I was just hurt. Like, kids are my soft spot, and I will probably get like this every time we talk about it. So I have a it's the threads are kind of messy in my head right now, which is why I like started eating and stuff, because I needed to like not want to die for a bit. It's good that we talk about it. We should talk about it. I'm not going to be at my most productive when we talk about dead children.
No, that's fine. No, that's totally understandable.
But I'll be
in
like, I'll
addition to
manage.
the
It's not like
legal
that.
and
It's just
yeah. In addition to the legal and social implications, Benedict's case has prompted discussion on the medical aspect of their death, particularly the use of common medications such as fluoxetine, Prozac, and diphenhydramine, Benadryl. Toxicology experts noted when talking to the advocate that these medications are commonly prescribed and generally safe when used as directed, and it's exceedingly rare for them to be implicated in deaths. I will take the expert's word on that. I'm not going to disagree with them.
like a lot of
On
people.
February 7th,
I know people who do Prozac.
Three girls attacked Benedict in a bathroom after he splashed water on them for making fun of him and another transgender friend. The girls beat Benedict, causing the team to suffer a blackout. According to Benedict's report to a school resource officer, Benedict was taken to the hospital by his grandmother and sent home. The following day, Benedict was found in distress, and rushed back to hospital, where the teenager was pronounced dead. So basically within less than 24 hours, he was then rushed back to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. So within that time frame, again, we don't know the levels of toxicology, and I don't think we should. And I don't think we should know that. The fact of the matter is, right, another person has lost their life, right? So that's all we need to worry about, right?
Yeah, like we don't know the levels.
Then given
like regardless, I'm not going to believe like, okay, even if it weren't the beatdown that killed him, I'm not going to like bet on it helping him. Like whether you want to put blame on them or not, three girls beat the shit out of him the day before he died. So fuck them anyway.
Yeah. A local prosecutor has declined to pursue criminal charges in the case. If you or someone you know needs mental health resources and support, please call, text, or chat with 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, or visit 988lifeline.org for 24/7 access. That's if you are in the US. You can also contact the trevorproject.org help, or text START to 678 678. You can, if you're in the UK and this had affected you, you can contact the Samaritans and other organisations as well.
I wish I knew anything about the Swedish what we have here, but unfortunately I don't. I'm bad at like that part, but there should be someone around that you can find.
Yeah. I
I think
me
like
do a
you could.
quick.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not since
Um,
I'm like I'm kind of shit at specifically talking about suicidal ideation and stuff, and self harm, and like that's not. My bag is more depression and like anxiety attacks and stuff like that. In which case I have good psychiatrists to recommend. But yeah, or just copious amounts of drugs.
yeah.
I don't self harm. I just do so fucking much drugs.
Yeah. If you're in Sweden, which is where predominantly the majority of our fan base, if you can call it that, is obviously. You
Yeah.
can contact Mind Suicide Helpline on 90101. There's the National Women's Helpline 020 505050. There's the SHEDO,
Yeah.
SHEDO, self harm chatline. There's the SPES, Suicide Helpline 020 1818 00.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're affected, then do please reach out, because the more help you get, the better.
Yeah.
But again, our condolences go out to his parents and everyone that knew him, because
Yeah.
I
Really.
mean,
Really does.
it's like
That's, I feel like you should, and I think it's good that I react like this. I don't want to. I don't want to get used to this. I don't want to. I don't want this to be easy. I don't want children dying to be easy. So I'm kind of happy that I keep getting like affected by it, because that means that it still isn't so fucking common that it breaks me. That it no longer breaks me. I mean, Jesus Christ, I can barely talk. I just put in a new tongue stud, which so I haven't had one in for a bit.
Yeah.
And also like the fucking dead child.
Yeah. Let's quickly shift gears so that we can distract ourselves from that. So the
Let's
good
start my
old
comedy routine.
British, so good old British institution, the NHS.
Yeah.
The so public satisfaction with the NHS is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
But if you are trans, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The long-running British social attitudes survey has been carried out since 1983 and has found in its most recent research that just 24% of the public are happy with the NHS, the lowest figure ever recorded. This is a huge drop on the all-time high of 70% recorded in 2010 and down 5% points on last year. The most commonly cited issues from those surveyed were long waiting times, staffing shortages, and lack of funding. Well, certainly here in the UK, we've known that the NHS has been underfunded for at least 10 years, maybe even 20 years. It's been underfunded and understaffed.
What's the point of having a nationalized healthcare if you're not going to fucking like actually nationalize some money into it?
Well, you see, there was this, there was talk last year, if I remember correctly, of some.
Yeah.
in the government were talking about maybe it's time to privatise the NHS.
Yeah.
So that you would have to pay for your treatment. And I don't see that
Sounds like a
working
terrible idea.
because because the NHS is free, but unfortunately you do get people who can easily afford to go private abuse the system because they don't want to pay for it. It's like, well, hang on a minute, you're a billionaire, like fuck off. You can afford to go private.
Oh yeah,
Go private.
Yeah. I don't think billionaires should get healthcare anyway. So like they should. Sorry, you stop being a human when you reach above $1 billion in my eyes. I do not understand why anyone would need that money.
I think they should build their own fucking commune.
Yeah.
Really, personally.
I really wish that I wanted to live in a commune. But I fucking hate sharing space with people. I don't even want to live with like my partners. Now I sound like I have any other than my boyfriend, but like with my ex-girlfriend, I didn't want to. We were together for 4.5 years. I never wanted to like. We never talked about moving in together. Me and my boyfriend, we like want to get married, but neither of us want to live together. So yeah, I'm not. I wish I wanted to. But yeah, billionaires should definitely like build a commune.
Yeah.
Become real people.
Yeah. Whilst these figures and the reasons behind them make for grim reading, if you are trans, they will be by no means surprising. Research has previously shown that 86% of trans people feel waiting times have negatively impacted their mental health. Well, no fucking kidding.
Oh, that 7-year-old, the 7-year long waiting time. Do you think that affects you? No shit. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this previously, but I remember reading an article that there could potentially be a 50-year waiting list.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's like
that's a what do you want? What do you call it? That's parody level.
Yeah.
It's Monty Python logic of time.
Yeah. These are waiting times.
You have to wait for 50 years.
Yeah. These are waiting times which, bear in mind, could be decades long if the current state of affairs for trans healthcare continues. But here's the thing. Well, obviously, obviously this is going to negatively impact the trans community as well. Yeah. But also, this is also going to affect cis people as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going to make sure to drag some cis people with me. Yeah. Yeah, but like, yeah, this will affect everyone. Like, this sucks for everyone.
Yeah. The Transition Access Survey 2022 by Trans Actual polled more than 1,000 UK-based trans people on their experiences in accessing gender-affirming care, including accessing private healthcare and referrals to a gender identity clinic. And so, at the time, it found just 15% of those referred to a GIC after 2017 had attended their first appointment by the time they were surveyed. These extreme, in commas, wait times have resulted in a High Court case against NHS England brought by 4 trans people, trans-led charity, Gendered Intelligence and the Good Law Project. The case, which went to appeal, was dismissed by the High Court in August 2023 and upheld a decision that a policy for NHS England's duty to refer 92% of patients on a waiting list to specialist clinics within 18 weeks was not enforceable and only a target duty. When the ruling was issued, legal officer at Good Law Project, Becca Sparrow, said it was not what we had hoped for. No fucking shit. And NHS patients were being let down once again. But what do you expect? It was not what we hoped for. Well, what did you hope for?
Yeah. What the fuck? That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I would have said no shit, Sherlock. Like
A student just like spontaneously combusted during my class. This wasn't what I was hoped for. No, it wasn't. You say no. I'm so pissed that I didn't come up with, that I didn't figure out what the fuck that's called in English, like spontaneous combustion. It's literally like the word. It's just, it's, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't like the delivery of that joke. Don't criticize myself. We've got meta.
She said, the Good Law Project wants to see a world in which everyone, regardless of their gender identity, is able to access the healthcare they need within reasonable timeframes. We want to stand. I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not.
Oh no. I hate it when you don't get like those.
Yeah. There you go. Regardless of their gender identity, is able to access the healthcare they need within reasonable timeframes. This is in quote commas. We continue to stand alongside the transgender community and all the NHS patients as we work towards a fairer world. The world isn't fair.
No.
Like you haven't achieved anything.
I don't know.
More recently, it was announced that trans youth will no longer be prescribed puberty blockers at NHS England gender identity clinics. Last year, fewer than 100 young people in England were prescribed puberty blockers. Trans youth charity Mermaids said the announcement was deeply disappointing and represented a further restriction of support offered to trans children and young people through the NHS, which is failing trans youth. And I might try and reach out to Ehrlich, because she does stuff around the trans thing. See if she comes up. I've seen if she wants to come on. But she tweeted out saying that trans youth can still get hold of puberty blockers. Like they're not fully restricted. Right. So I don't like the fact that they're painting this picture of they'll no longer be able to be prescribed. Well, yes, they can. Yes, they will be able to still be prescribed, just not through the NHS.
Work. Yeah, I do not like they. It definitely should be provided by the NHS. It should be provided like instantly. Like all puberty blockers fucking do is like prohibit puberty. It's fucking and they can save lives. So yeah, they don't harm. So they should be provided. But it's good to know that there are ways to.
Yeah, and do you know what do you know what the funny thing is as well? Because the argument here is, it's always trans children should not be put on puberty blockers.
Who the fuck should be put on puberty blockers then?
Well, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
You do realise that cis you do realise that cis people go on puberty blockers?
Oh
don't you?
yeah, of course.
Like major fucking
All the time, because they have like because they have like an early onset puberty, and like I'm sorry, any puberty of the like me having a male puberty was always going to be early onset because I didn't fucking want the. There isn't a single day. I was lucky. I was really lucky, but there isn't a single day that goes by where I don't like wish I was put on puberty blockers before.
Yeah.
It would have made my life easier.
Yeah. In a statement to Pink News, following the British Social Attitude Survey findings, Robbie DeSantos, Director of Campaigns and Human Rights at Stonewall, said trans people continue to experience extensive discrimination in general healthcare, and waiting times for transition-related healthcare often exceed 5 years, well beyond NHS maximum waiting times. Trans patients deserve better, and it is vital that the NHS works at a pace to increase capacity for trans healthcare services and deal with the lack of understanding and confidence among the wider healthcare workforce that stops trans people getting the care they need when they need it. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Robbie. But here's the problem: when you have a service like NHS, there's a great that have served the community for hundreds of years. When that system is failing, and we've seen it through the pandemic, it was struggling. Prior to the pandemic, it was on its knees. It was struggling. It was underfunded. When you have a system that is underfunded, short-staffed, we keep losing staff because nurses are fed up of working in those conditions. When you have that problem, you can't then say you need to do better. How about sort out the issue of funding first, then do that alongside. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But you can't expect the NHS to deal with every single patient, because they clearly can't do that, right? I feel as if there needs to be another. I don't want to say another NHS 2.0, but I almost feel as if there needs to be another hospital that can fill the void.
Yeah, it seems like it. We have like a. It's kind of crumbling here as well because we sold everything out. It's really fucking weird. We sold the fucking like pharmacies out and privatized them, but we still haven't privatized fucking alcohol in Sweden.
Yeah. We recently, our government is trying to sell everything off because we have just entered another recession here in England. And we recently had a 5%, and we've just had a 5% increase in tax. So yeah, everything's going great. We're in.
It's always the right people who pay for that shit.
Yeah. We've just gone through a pandemic that we're still feeling the effects of, and we'll probably will still feel it in another 2 years time. So yeah, but we can fight about more than one thing. So the more we fight, the more we scream, raise our voices. Eventually they will have to listen, whether they like it or not. In an op-ed for Pink News, reporter Amelia Hansford noted it is a scary time to be a gender-questioning youngster in the UK. With the all too common adolescent fear of knowing your place in the world is exacerbated by feelings that you know are incredibly real, but whether intentionally or not, are treated as a sickness by those around you.
Yeah, it's like the teenage the teenage like feeling that everyone hates you. Only it kind of fucking is true, and they hate you for like bad reasons as well. And that's I'm sorry I'm laughing, but like Jesus fucking Christ, this is dark. Like this is the darkest. We live in a fucking black comedy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She wrote, all of this has culminated in what has essentially become a disastrous stagnation, which the NHS would rather turn its back on than address. I don't think the NHS is turning its back. I don't agree with that.
It's the politicians though.
It's the politicians, right? The NHS never
Yeah.
turns anyone away. Unfortunately, right, like we saw in the pandemic, especially here in the UK, because obviously I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with how Sweden handled it. But here we had to unfortunately
Shit.
we unfortunately had to turn people away because NHS couldn't handle with the amount of patients.
I had to
So
work
you
throughout
can't.
my
So you can't. So yeah. So you can't. Um. So you can't say that NHS has turned its back. I don't agree with that. So you know, like some of the wording in these articles, like, do you read? Do any of these journalists reread before they fucking hit publish? For God's sake!
Oh no, they never do these days. It's
Yeah.
the fucking click is what is important. I will say like look, Jesus fucking Christ, am I having another stroke? The trans healthcare in Sweden does actively seem to want to murder trans people. It is so fucking terrible. I know one person who has like a positive experience there. Everyone else just went in with the like gender dysphoria, came out with suicidal ideation. Fucking brilliant. And that's kind of why I will go around the system and do like the black market shit. Uh, and I'm already on the black market. I buy drugs all the time. I'm used to it. Now it will just be drugs that make me look even hotter.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but like doctors in general want to help people. It's the politicians that fuck them over. I worked in
Yeah.
assisted living for like 7 years, and like yeah, that's not at a hospital. And I worked with like some nurses, but no doctors, I think. But like yeah, people really want to help more than they are allowed to. It's like underfunded bullshit. And then we say that we need to like give them dignity in life, and then we let them sit in their own piss. Yeah, fucking dignity. But it's all the politicians, not the people working there. It's the people making the decisions.
Yeah. Absolutely. Try as it might, no amount of covering its ears and closing of eyes is going to magically make the dysphoria of these young people go away. Well, that's a given.
I don't like talking about the NHS as like being. I think that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking.
Yeah. Commenting on the latest British Social Attitude Survey, more widely, Chris Hobson, Chief Strategy Officer at NHS England, said whilst these findings reflect the sustained pressure and disruption facing NHS services last autumn, it is extremely welcome to once again see overwhelming public support for the founding principles of NHS. Over the last 12 months, as the NHS has continued to recover from the pandemic, frontline services have responded to significant increases in demand. with October seeing the most A&E admissions since January 2020, and GP teams delivering 53 million more appointments last year compared to pre-pandemic levels. 50, yeah, the only problem with that is if you can actually fucking get an appointment for a start with your GP. So
Yeah.
So delivering 53 million more appointments, but how many out of those 53 million were people able to fucking attend? Like,
Yeah, I get someone died waiting, but like I just kind of got the thought in my head like having a child like the experiencing gender dysphoria and shit, and then about to hit puberty and like, oh, you have to wait 7 years. Like, yeah, he's going to fucking graduate high school by then. I think he might have hit puberty.
yeah,
Trans healthcare is a fucking joke everywhere. Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Oh.
Coupled with impacts of a year of strike action. Oh yeah, we had a strike as well. This has
Oh.
affected the experiences of some patients, which we know has been very, very frustrating. Yeah. What about cancer patients having to cancel their appointments
Yeah.
when they needed vital care? Like, yeah. However, thanks to the hard work of staff, NHS teams have delivered more elective activity in 2023 than in any other year since the start of the pandemic, with over 17.3 million people treated. It is also encouraging to see a slight increase in public satisfaction with emergency care services over the surveyed period. While there is still much more to do, the NHS plans to recover access to emergency primary and dental care and reduce cancer, ambulance and elective waiting times are helping the NHS to deliver improved care for patients. Well, unfortunately, I don't think it's improving care quickly enough. Certainly
no.
not for trans people who
Oh no,
are
but
having yeah.
that's a
But
hill we'll be climbing up for a bit.
yeah. So that is like
I want to tell anyone like just quickly. Like it sounds really bleak and it sounds really dark, but like there are ways to manage without like blowing your brains out. I promise you. For anyone who thinks like, oh, I don't want to go through that bullshit, so I'll just stay in the closet. Don't. That's a bad idea. I stayed in the closet and it nearly fucking killed me like multiple times. The last one, it was just fucking my body saying no. And like, I get that I'm privileged saying this because like for some reason, I ended up feminine, and that makes me happy. But like this is pre-HRT. Like these are fake. But I've said it before. Like all male, honey. Uh, I'm such a man. But like it's uh, this is pre-HRT, so I get that this sounds like it's easy to just do your own thing. Like, but there are ways that don't make you want to kill yourself. Trust me. Like, just so don't stay in the closet.
yeah,
Don't hide away.
absolutely.
It's better anyway.
Yeah.
I know because I was thinking like that. I had that kind of thing.
Yeah. So this is a drag queen who was arrested, and why are these
What was
people so
your
offended?
color?
Like, seriously, like,
I don't know.
so
I genuinely don't know. Actually, I
a drag queen So, a drag queen in the Philippines has spoken out following their arrest for performing as Jesus. Vega, real
That
name
wasn't the headline. I was.
Amadeus. Yeah, Amadeus
Oh,
Fernando Pazente was first arrested in October after performing Alma Namin, a rock version of the Lord's Prayer, while dressed as Christ. They were released after 3 days when fellow drag artists raised enough money to secure bail. The performer was charged under Article 201 of the Southeast Asian countries' criminal code, which prohibits indecent or immoral plays, scenes, acts, or shows that offend any race or religion.
Why? I hate blasphemy laws. Like the fuck. This is such snowflake behavior. Like that's actual like snowflake behavior. Oh, someone criticized my beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I
On
said was
March
that this
1st,
meal was so delicious and
Pure-
served for the Jehovah.
Yeah. On
Sorry, Life of
March
Brian is
1st,
my favorite comedy of all time.
Yeah. Pure Luca Vega took to Twitter/X to announce that they had been released on bail after being arrested again over the performance the day before. I was released on bail today. I got to learn about my cellmates, their stories, and much more. Vega wrote, because of what is happening and through support and explanations of my lawyers, I now feel comfortable using legal jargon in everyday life. And
that's a good
yeah,
that's like a good outlook though.
yeah, that's his tweet there.
Response.
Let me go a bit more. So
I appreciate that response. Like that was nice.
yeah,
Nice handling. Fucking blasphemy laws.
Vega added that they were grateful to those who have supported and defended me, along with the hashtag drag is art and drag is not a crime. The Philippines is a staunchly religious country, with more than 86% of the population identifying as Roman Catholic, according to not-for-profit group the Asia Society. But Vega's political performances have resulted in them being declared on an unwelcome person by several cities in the Philippines. Oh, fuck's sake, grow up.
Yeah, well,
Seriously?
like the 86. Did you say 86% identified as?
Yeah,
Yeah,
86%
of
of the
the
population identify as Roman
identifying it.
Catholic. Yeah,
I don't believe in self-identification, so I'm just going to ignore that.
yeah.
Sorry. Of course.
Yeah. I just want to put this out there that
I do believe in self-identification.
yeah. You know, grow up. Not that these people, not that any person from this country will listen to this. I mean, I will
Maybe.
be surprised if they did. But I mean, come on, for fuck's sake, grow up. It's an act. I'm sure these people.
It was
like
who Jesus fucking Christ! Have you people seen Passion of the Christ? Like that's torture porn by the very very like strict definition of it, because I think it's literally meant to get off to the way that it's violent, shot entirely pornographic. Like that's more fucked than this in my as far as I'm concerned. Why can't I speak?
yeah. Their previous legal woes began when an online video revealed the rock performance, prompting a religious group to complain to prosecutors in the capital, Manila. This here, right? I think that was it. That one. This reminds me of what happened to flipping Sam Smith when he did that video with when he did that Satan video, music video, and everyone.
Oh yeah, with Kim Petras.
Yeah, when everyone became a fucking snowflake. That's for fuck's sake, go up.
I love that conservatives call like anyone else snowflakes because they are so fucking brittle.
Yeah.
It's like this shit has been done for centuries. Like for centuries, we've fucked with religion in a like culture way. Even no matter how religious we are. Like John Milton, who wrote fucking oh Jesus Christ! Now I don't even remember if that's actually his name. But Paradise Lost. I think it's John Milton who wrote it. I am so fucking brain dead today. But that book is he was a Christian. As far as I know, and the book is literally like the protagonist of it is Lucifer. Like we've been doing this shit forever.
Yeah.
So like, grow up fucking spine. And if you are so fucking certain in your beliefs, who cares? Like it's jokes. Like, you, oh fucking hell. People joke about my beliefs. Like I tricked myself into believing I'm literally immortal because it solved my fear of death. Like I would get mad at people saying I'm mad for it. I would definitely not get mad, but for like at drag performers if they dressed like me. They can absolutely do. Please, some drag performer out there. Please do me. Do me. Do. Okay, that's a weird thing to just shout.
Yeah. Paradise Lost is an epic poem in blank verse by the 17th century English poet John Milton.
I fucking rule.
The first version, published in 1667, consists of 10 books with over 10,000 lines of verse.
Yeah, it's so good. It's one of my favorite. It's like probably my favorite piece of poetry of all time, and it's one of my favorite literary. Hold on, I need to show you. This is so cool. It's so beautiful. Where are you? You fucking. Are you doing? Yeah. This is Max getting her literary nerd out. It's so beautiful. Like it's really fucking good. I can, if you haven't read it, it's so. This is where the Mediterranean hell then serve in heaven comes from.
No,
it's just gorgeous fucking pictures. This is beautiful. But yeah, that's kind of fucking with religion. Like it places fucking Lucifer at the center of attention. Like this and the Divine Comedy is. I have a great edition of that one as well with Gustav Doria as the illustrator. The greatest part about the Divine Comedy is that so much of it is just Dante being bitchy about like not liking his neighbor, so he places them in hell. It's so much fucking spite, and like it's kind of one of my go-tos for people always having been completely fucking mad. Like I love whenever I do literary history at school. I always try to focus on like, humanity has always been so fucking weird and like perverted and like violent. It hasn't gotten worse. It's just that a lot of that got like erased from history. Like they made fucking Sappho. They made Sappho a fucking straight chick. For years, for fucking decades, they taught her being like not gay, and like, oh, she wrote such passionate poems to her friends that they sound like love poems. Like, oh, she wanted to fuck her. Like that's. I'm not. We have a Swedish author, Selma Lagerlöf, who was also like clearly a dyke, and it's like, oh, they were just really good friends. I was like, yeah, really good friends who like ate each other out.
Yeah.
I miss the taste of your lips isn't something I write to the friends that I'm not fucking.
No. Yeah, there was a lot of especially through the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and even to the current day. There's been so many female lesbians who dressed like in a way like men. They concealed their sexuality, all throughout history. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's,
But like, yeah. But like, Sappho literally lived on Lesbos. Like,
yeah.
like that's where we get the word from.
Yeah.
And as well as Sapphic, like, so that's fun. But like, yeah, recommend here at Culture Corner. I was oh shit, I was really close to using like an old username I used, like way back when. I used to go by the handle Almighty Malachi. It's like a reference to a Stephen Lynch song, as well as a book in the Bible. But that's not where I got it. I got it from the Stephen Lynch song, and I used to go by that. And I was like this close to calling myself Malachi, which is fucking weird. I think I'm kind of sleep deprived.
Yeah. Right, we've got one more after this, and then we'll wrap it up. So share screen.
I just gotta say, like, my name is the Max Attacks. That was actually I was intending that to be a C, not a X, not an X. But I'm so happy that I like hit the wrong key.
Yeah.
That was actually a typo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here.
was anti-trans. Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah. So this prick here, his name is Julian Irosa, or Julian, however you want to pronounce it, depending on where you're from.
I think it's supposed to be pronounced cunt.
But he is obviously a fighter, and during a post-match fight or whatever, he called out Lia Thomas. So, Ultimate Fighting Championship star Julian Irosa said he wants to beat trans athlete Lia Thomas in a fight. During a rant about her past participation in competitive swimming, despite the fact, and it says this in the article, despite the fact that she hasn't competitively swam in like 2 years. So, during an anti-trans rant, following his latest bout on Saturday, 23rd of March, 34-year-old Julian Irosa challenged Thomas, 9 years his junior, and repeatedly misgendered the swimmer. Well, of course he did.
Yeah, he's clearly a fucking Massive shithead. Yeah. I like. Why does he want to fight her? What the fuck?
Don't know. Apparently this is what he said. I don't like cheaters, he said, after his win over Brazilian Ricardo Ramos. I wanted to call out Lia Thomas, he said, gendering her correctly before immediately adding I wanted to encourage him to transition from women's swimming into women's MMA. Then I'll transition to become a woman and beat that dude's ass.
But she's not in the MMA. Why do you want to fight people who's not in the UFC? Like, that's bad. Why are people so fucked? This is like these like anti-feminists who say like, oh, if women are equal, then that means I can beat women. Why do you want to beat people? Why do you want to beat people? Be normal. Just be fucking normal for once.
He added that his statement had been for a little bit of shock value, then criticised Fallon Fox, a transgender former MMA fighter, for competing in the women's category. I just don't agree with men in women's sports. Well, they're not men, they're women. It was said.
Yeah.
The whole
like,
Fallon...
It was
Yeah.
It was bad shock value as well. Like, oh, you want to beat up a trans person? How fucking shocking! Join the fucking queue.
Yeah, the whole Fallon Fox thing gives guys fighting in women's MMA and knocking them out is a bad look. No, what's a bad look is you being the transphobic, bigoted fucking cunt who's probably had his head bashed in too many times. You've lost all fucking capabilities of using your brain.
Yeah, this is fucked. It's such a long-winded way of saying I want to beat up someone as well. I want to get her to join the UFC, and then I want to transition, and then I want to beat her up. Or you could just be a fucking functional human being, you weirdo.
Yeah. Julian Erosa planned to call out Lia Thomas during his post-win in Octagon interview at UFC Vegas 89. I don't like cheaters. We've already covered that. Admitting that he's not the smartest crayon in the box, the fighter added that he's so well done for owning your own stupidity.
Yeah.
The fighter added that he is against trans women taking part in any women's sports and claimed that Thomas is beating all the women despite the fact, and it is, that she had not swum competitively for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Thomas only competed in
the party.
Yeah. Thomas only competed in university swimming tournaments for a few months before the end of her college career, but was still subjected to anti-trans comments from the likes of fellow swimmer Riley Gaines and former US President Donald Trump, and not to forget to mention Sharon Davies as well.
It's so she's not competing anymore. What the fuck? Find a new one.
Sharon Davies because the only people that swimming. Yeah. Sharon Davies retired from swimming when she was like 20 or something.
Yeah. And like Lia Thomas doesn't swim either.
No.
Anymore. And like find some relevant person to like hop on, and at least but any relevant person, like any now I love it that they, like, other than these people, all they seem to find is like trans people who are shit at the sport. Or like he comes in like 6th place and like, oh, I would have been in 6th place. Like, yeah, because there's such a big difference between 6th and 7th. The fucking
However, University of Pennsylvania swim team colleagues offered her their full support, adding we value her as a person, teammate, and friend. While trans athletes have been targeted by rules limiting their participation in women's sports, studies have found that transgender women do not have an advantage in elite competitions if they had begun testosterone suppression.
Yeah,
Let
like
me
what the
say that.
fuck?
Let me say that part again for those turfs and bigots who probably hate listen or hate watch our podcast. While trans athletes have been
Please come
targeted
on.
by rules limiting their participation in women's sports, studies have found that transgender women do not, I repeat, do not have an advantage in elite competitions if they had begun
No shit.
testosterone suppression. Right? There is not one there is not one discrete biomarker that allows easy comparison of athletes' bodies to each other in terms of performance. One report stated. It's like,
Yeah.
here's some advice, Julian. Stick to your sport. You've already outed yourself for not being the brightest bulb in the pack. So, continue being stupid. You know,
Yeah, really.
and, and just stay in your lane and continue to
That's
be
the thing. Like,
punched in the head.
there are a lot of things that I know shit, no fucking fuck all about. I tend to like sit down and shut the fuck up and like wait to learn something. Like I know
Yeah.
that I run people over all the fucking time, but that's in subjects that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I happen to be really good at rhetorics. Like that's my fucking get. It's weird. Just I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm going to talk loudly. Yeah, maybe don't. And especially when that loud talk ends with you wanting to beat the shit out of someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking
It's like,
muppet.
right. So this is the last one, and then right. So this is obviously regarding the Baltimore Bridge
Oh yeah.
that unfortunately collapsed. So anti-LGBTQ plus trolls mock Baltimore Bridge disaster and claim replacement will be woke and trans.
Yeah, that's a fun joke.
Uh,
Like no, it's not even mean spirit. It's just no. It's just
yeah.
shit.
Following the unexpected
Like
and
just
tragic collapse. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Tragic collapse of the Baltimore Bridge. Extreme right-wing trolls are flooding Elon Musk's X platform to claim that the replacement will be woke, trans, or named after George Floyd.
yeah.
The 1.6-mile Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore fell into the water early on Tuesday, the 26th of March morning after a large container ship crashed into one of the bridge's support beams. Now, what I've heard is that the one of the engine basically um, went kaput. It
Yeah.
basically broke down. That's what I've heard. 6 people are still missing in the wake of the tragedy, and one person is in the hospital with serious injuries. But that hasn't stopped online trolls taking to X, formerly Twitter, to politicize and mock the disaster. The main focus of the disrespectful posts about the bridge is that some are speculating that the replacement bridge won't be renamed after Key, who was a slave owner, and have suggested alternative names. The George Floyd Fentanyl Lives Matter, Stop White Privilege Bridge, for trans persons of colour, said one mocking post, making fun of George Floyd, the black man who was murdered by police officer Derek Chauvin in 2020.
These are jokes. These are barely.
Protests. Worldwide protests demanding police reform and the end of racial injustice. This vile attempt to make fun of trans people and Floyd in the wake of a shocking and tragic incident is rooted in alt-right racist rhetoric. Like, what makes you think that saying the George Floyd fentanyl lives matter, stop white privilege bridge is funny? That's not funny.
It's
what fucking planet are you on? Seriously?
The Hugbox Gate.
I'm guessing this troll is not...
Something like that.
Yeah.
Do at least do something that sounds like a fucking bridge, you useless cunts. Like, it's not I'm not offended by the, like, fucking mentioning of any of that. I'm offended at the lack of fucking comedy in these people.
I'm guessing this troll... No, sorry. I'm guessing this troll is probably, all about white power. It's probably one of those. All about white power. Like,
yeah.
Seriously, shut the fuck up. You probably haven't got a brain cell.
Who was
like?
Who was it that said, like, it's so interesting with people who feel such strong white pride that they are the people who make you the least proud of being white. Like, they're always like the worst fucking examples of genetics ever. Which is like, that's what happens when your parents are siblings.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that goes on. But anyway, moving on.
Gotta keep the blood on
I hope the new George Floyd Memorial Bridge they are going to build in Baltimore, has a racially diverse construction crew and is painted in the trans flag's colours. Francis Scott Key was a slave-owning colonizer after all. Tweeted right-wing podcaster Royce Lopez, also trolling and trivializing the presumed deadly disaster. Royce Lopez, you're a fucking cunt, is a co-host of Revenge. For fuck's sake, he has a podcast called. He's a co-host of a podcast called Revenge of the Cis. A far-right show described as political comedy. He's been described by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a hot.
That at least that made me laugh. I mean, because it was so fucking pathetic, but like Revenge of the Cis.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how like fucking Star Wars film.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the reference. The Sith are bad guys. You fucking morons.
He's being described by the Southern Poverty. Yeah. He's being described by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a hardcore white supremacist.
Unlike the shill softcore white supremacists who is just. I'm sorry, white supremacy is kind of one of those issues where it kind of always ends up as hardcore. But I get what they're saying. He's like extreme. He's extreme in his extreme views as well. But it was just a fucking funny fun way of saying it. What a cunt!
Yeah.
Also, like,
escalating the irreverent and offensive response. Some online posters have also shockingly accused Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg of actually causing the bridge's collapse.
Or it was just shit
So
bridge.
now,
Also, I that fucking name will haunt me. I still don't know how to fucking pronounce it.
I think it's
I'm so
Pete. I
glad
think
he
it's
didn't
Pete.
end up president.
Yeah, I think it's Pete Booty Gedge. I don't care.
Yeah, I think
But I mean,
you were about right.
yeah,
But
the
yeah,
42-year-old Democrat has become the target surrounding the disaster, seemingly because he is a gay man with children, who is outspoken about racism and the need to fight bigotry.
yeah.
Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg to address Baltimore Bridge collapse as soon as he's done chest feeding. One conservative X account posted.
Why would you be chest feeding?
I mean,
Like,
I
at least
mean,
make
I mean,
funny jokes. I mean,
I know, I mean, I know we have. I know we have. You know, similar looking. I know we have chests that look similar to fucking breasts, but we don't express milk in that way. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not funny.
no. No, that's the thing. Like, this
Maybe.
isn't the. I'm offended by the lack of comedy. Like, genuinely, I am. Because these people call themselves fucking comedians. And like, oh, we run a political comedy show. This isn't a political comedy show, but we do fucking better political comedy. Jesus fucking Christ. I hate these people. Because they make people. And this is why, like, they think people hate their jokes because they're like offensive and shit. I do offensive fucking jokes all the time. I don't get shit for it. I think I probably should get more shit than I do for some of the shit that I do, shit that I say. But like, I don't, but that's because my jokes are actually like funny and actual jokes.
Yeah.
Like
Chest feeding. Chest feeding is a reference to the fact that Buttigieg and his husband have children, and trolls are suggesting he feeds them from his chest as he doesn't have breasts. Well,
yeah, formula doesn't exist in this fucking world.
Yeah. Well, do they not realize that we have a chest that is considered a breast, right? But we don't have the functionality of expressing these fucking stupid people. These anti-gay and anti-trans jokes are yet more unnecessary and hateful talking points that obscure the actual issue at hand.
Yeah, but I really wish this article would also mention the fact that it's just not funny. Like, on a basic constructional level, they are shit jokes.
Yeah. Buttigieg is in fact publicly and visibly putting in round-the-clock work to repair Baltimore's bridge infrastructure and has also visited the Maryland city to assess the situation and damage. Furthermore, President Joe Biden has already established the cost of rebuilding the bridge will be covered by the federal government.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's
maybe Joe.
good.
You know, you can put more effort. And I'm glad he's doing that, but I would just hope that you could put more effort into the fucking situation in Hamas. You know, but there we go. That is Pete Buttigieg there. This clip is from November 2021. It's not about the bridge.
He's the male. He's the male version of that thing I said about Sasha White, about it being like the face that I see all faces as due to my facial blindness. He's the male version of that. It's just face. Oh, look, it's person. Here comes human walking by. It's like fucking generic.
Yeah, with Floyd's name circulating in relation to the Baltimore Bridge, a now debunked fake tweet about Floyd, which aimed to suggest he was homophobic and transphobic, has also resurfaced. The fabricated tweet, which includes offensive comments about transgender people, was made to look like it was from Floyd in 2011. However, the account that the tweet came from was created in 2022, more than 2 years after Floyd was murdered. Additionally, in 2011, Floyd was in prison on a charge of aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. He was paroled in 2013. The image of this fake tweet is typically posted alongside a real photo of Floyd and has now been in circulation for over a year since Elon Musk took over X. Misinformation on the site has been on the rise, with experts describing the concurrent increase in hate speech as um, a disastrous situation. And so, yeah, more trolls do what they know to do.
George Floyd could have been the biggest piece of shit alive. He still didn't deserve to die like that. Like, it's just like,
No, and
that's not a fucking argument.
Yeah, no.
Oh, he wasn't
Certainly
an
not in the
angel.
manner he did.
No, that's what I mean. Like, oh, he wasn't an angel, so he needs to get stomped out by the fucking police. No, get fucked. You don't get to play that. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, I'm not a fucking angel. I've definitely done shit that would look bad and like suspicious. The fact that I like constantly do drugs, like that would be used against me if I get killed by police.
Oh, of course it would.
And like, yeah, maybe, yeah. There is so much shit that will get used against me in either a court case or a documentary somewhere down the line. I want to live my life to like be fit for both roles in a true crime documentary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just yet again, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Would you look at that? Racist pieces of shit being racist pieces of shit.
Yeah. But I hope that as we know, there are two people that are in hospital. I don't know what their condition is. We're hoping that there are more survivors, but only time will tell. What the true extent of what happened is. But yeah, if you
Heaven's
wanted
Gate Bridge, I would call it.
Yeah.
That's the funny joke.
Yeah. If you are thinking of, being a troll because you're a sad, pathetic excuse of a person who clearly doesn't like themselves much. If you're thinking of being one, don't bring it to my doorstep, so to speak, right? or right, because I'm not in. Because I'm not.
Bring it to
I don't
mine.
have the Yeah, because I don't have the patience. I just don't.
I've been kind of like twitching for a fight lately. No one responds to me anymore.
I had someone. I did a post 4 days ago. It's pinned on my Twitter. And this troll, came out, all guns is fighting, acting like the tough guy, as you always do. Saying that I am basically a natural born loser and pathetic and all that. And all of a sudden, he's gone quiet. So I tweeted. So I replied to his last tweet and I said, "Why have you gone quiet?"
Yeah.
I'm poking him. Like, come on, I thought you were tough.
Yeah. Of course.
Come on,
Yeah.
gone quiet.
They're always so fucking tough until you like get to them. But like lately, I don't get any responses anymore, and that kind of hurts my feelings. I want to fight, and like you send me shit, and I go in and I don't get it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I come in like guns blazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right off the bat, I'm a bit rusty. I've been working so much on like art projects and stuff that I haven't been fighting on Twitter as much. Also the porn, which is an art project, but it's also porn.
Yeah. That we covered I think between 4 and 5 articles. So
Yeah, that
would be
good.
that.
And also talk
Yeah.
about Keith.
Yeah. Which, if you happen to listen to this, and if anyone knows him, do please send it his way. And to Kevin as well, could I have given Kevin an olive branch to ask for him to come on?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Like,
for him to explain his position as to why he had the right.
Yeah, and like as a teacher, I would love to talk to him about that shit.
Yeah,
because like that, it flies in the face of my like fundamental idea of pedagogy. Like my idea is that we're there for the children. Like we're there for their sake, mainly.
Yeah.
Or well, mainly I'm there because I need a salary. But like aside from that, it's the children that comes first. And I don't.
Yeah.
I want to know how you cannot think that as a teacher, and he clearly does.
No, and so Kevin or Keith, and I may actually tweet at them again, because
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not contacting them to be a dick. I genuinely want to have a conversation with them. Like, come on, if
And
you're so
and I'm a massive shithead to them, but like I would, it would be a conversation. Like I wouldn't be as cunty at the start.
right,
Like
so
at some point it would like break, but
yeah, so come on. Kevin, Keith, I'll be contacting you both again. Well, I said I don't think I offered Keith an olive branch. I might do. But either way, I mean, I'm trying to get us another interview with someone. I contacted Crystal. She's a drag artist.
Yeah.
She appeared on RuPaul's Drag Race. There was a situation where Lawrence Fox accused her and another person of being falsely accused them, by the way, of being paedophiles. And Crystal has gone through a court case.
Yeah.
And so I contacted her earlier this afternoon, asking if she would like to come on as a guest to discuss that and discuss what effects the abuse has had on her. I've also contacted mermaids as well to see if they want to come on.
Oh, cool.
I might contact Stonewall as well to see if they want to have one of their members come on. So and obviously let's not forget. Yeah, and obviously let's not forget. Obviously, in another few weeks or so, I'll get back in contact with Heather Patterson to see if she wants to come on.
I'm looking forward to that.
As well.
Yeah,
So
I should ask my boyfriend if he knows someone.
Yeah, I mean, if you know anyone within the trans community or is an ally, or if you know anyone who is trying to support the community in any way, then do please let me know, because I'm wanting to have different people from different
Yeah, me too.
backgrounds.
And like,
So
it's been good when we have had it. It's just I'm
Yeah.
shit at like knowing people like that. Like I'm so fucking isolated from like the rest of the fucking community
Yeah.
because of my weird IDs. But like my boyfriend is more a part of it than I've ever been. So I'm going to like see if he knows someone or something.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that will be it. Obviously, here in England, it's tomorrow will be Good Friday. I don't know if it's the same in Sweden, but it's Easter weekend
yeah,
here
it's
in the UK.
it's a weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm actually off.
So
I'm off until like Tuesday after next week.
yeah.
So
So I hope you all have a great weekend.
Yeah.
As always, remember to stay safe. You know,
Happy Easter if
look
you
after
celebrate.
Yeah, and as always, we will be back same time again next week. Probably. Remember that video I sent you of Helen Stellan and Helen Joyce?
Yeah, I could not get through that fucking wreck.
How? Because it will be.
I would
Because it will
love
be.
to.
Why don't we cover that next week?
Yeah, fucking
Perfect.
let's.
Perfect. Right, that's that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna let you get off because we've been on for fucking like over 2 hours again. This seems to be our normal like time frame. But yeah,
Yeah, like I think we've
so
got more comfortable.
yeah. So again, stay safe.
Yeah.
As always, if you enjoy our content, don't forget you can find us on YouTube as well. I'll put the link down below.
Yeah.
Spotify, iTunes,
I tend to.
wherever you
Yeah.
listen to them. If you listen on Spotify and you like what you hear, give us a like rating. 5 stars.
Like I've said, I
we're not-
will. Yeah. I will read out any 5-star reviews.
yeah.
I think I said that.
I mean,
Did I say 1-star
I mean,
reviews? No. I need to
we have
listen to that one.
we have a 1 star on iTunes, but I think that was because I think that was
Yeah.
partly due to a troll, due to a fucking troll or something who clearly doesn't like.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
like
due to
us.
it was due to there being a damn tranny in this.
Yeah.
Can I just say, like,
probably.
the way I write tranny, by the way, I just need people to know this, like, who aren't Swedish. The way that I write tranny, the reason I do it is because that's the way that it would actually be pronounced. Like that letter that I use, that's an a. So it's literally tranny would be the pronunciation of it. That's why I use it, and I'm so happy I figured that one out. Because it scares around the censorship of Twitter, which Elon Musk totally has.
Yeah. On Spotify, on Spotify when you do a rating, you don't really do reviews. It's more like
Oh,
a 5 star, like a 5 star. If you want to send us, I mean, we do have an email. Let me go on to Gmail. Do I have it on this phone? Our email is thequeergossippod@gmail.com. Again, that's thequeergossippod@gmail.com. If you have any comments or you feel that or you want to like educate us on what we may have missed or whatever, then do send it through to that email address. Just type into the subject headline, comments or whatever. Send us in your stories, your confessions or whatever you want, and we'll be sure to read it out. Obviously, if you want to remain anonymous, then just put anonymous anon, and we'll keep it. But yeah, we do really want to hear from you.
I would
Hear what you
love
have to say.
confessions. I've been
because I
thinking
know that,
about buying a non-habit.
yeah,
So if we do
because I
confessions
know,
at any time, I will be wearing that.
yeah, because I know that the vast majority of our listeners probably don't use Twitter, Instagram, or social media in general. So if you want to tell us what you think and all that, then send it through to that email address. That email address again is the thequeergossippod at gmail.com. The queer gossip pod, the queer gossip pod at gmail.com, and we will be sure to read them out. If we get any, and this is not in no way to try and get comments in a minute. Kind of struggling to speak myself in a manipulative way.
I'm so happy I'm not the only one.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. If you would like to have anything read out on next week's podcast, then be sure to send them our way. And we may read them out if we have any next week. If not, then
If we get the
by
really
all means,
spicy ones, I promise I will match them with one of my own.
there you go. So if you want yours read out or you have any comments on what we fuck's sake, what we have previously spoken about, then do let us know. I'm getting fucking
I'm sorry,
tongue-tied.
I'm just so happy.
Right.
I'm so happy I'm
Right.
not the only one because that's so fucking annoying when it happens to me. Like
Yeah,
language is my
right.
life, and I can't speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Bye.
right, that'll be it. And yeah, so we're gonna end now. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.